Snake, the nukes appear to have left the coastal marshes and reached the mountains around Irazu. But without a guide, it's gonna be tough tracking those things in the mountains. So we need you to infiltrate one of their bases, a prison facility.
I hope nothing's happened to Amanda's brother.
I hear you. There may be other Sandinistas held there too. To bring them back safely to MSF, use the Fulton recovery system. As I'm sure you know from experience, it's completely harmless. After all, you won't have time to sit there and convince every single one of them to join.
One other thing, Snake.
Amanda.
Those CIA bastards confiscated some of the houses in the village. Chico's got to be inside one of them.
Houses, huh? How do I tell which ones?
When they took over the houses, they installed new front doors for security purposes. The new doors are blue, with peepholes, so you can see what's inside.
Blue doors. Got it.
You're getting close to the end of the transport route. Good luck, Snake.
Costa Rica means rich coast in Spanish.
Is it true that Columbus was the one who came up with the name?
Your guess is as good as mine. But it is true that Columbus landed his ships near Limon back in the age of exploration. He wrote in his diary that when he landed, the indigenous showered him with gifts of gold, hence the name. It sounds a little strange to me. There's no way they could find that much gold in Costa Rica.
Columbus originally set sail in search of the legendary land of gold. Maybe he was just nuts about the stuff.
Costa Rica is rich enough without it. Look at the forests and the animals and the peace-loving people. That is what I want to protect.
I know how you feel.
Democracy took root in Costa Rica before anywhere else in Central America. Sure, we had coup and dictators and all, but never a total meltdown. That is, until 26 years ago.
The Civil War. Yeah. I understand you lost your grandparents.
It started with a dispute over alleged fraud in the presidential election. What I do not understand is why friend turned against friend, when they could have talked it out instead.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Even today, some buildings still have bullet holes from the Civil War. A quarter century later, and it is a tragedy we Ticos cannot forget, must not forget. It was the year after the Civil War that the army was constitutionally abolished. A new president was elected this year, President Otaber. He seems to be distancing himself from the United States. He has limited the privileges granted to American banks, lifted the sanctions on Cuba. Our last president was so pro-US, people suspected he was in bed with the CIA.
You think the CIA is doing this because it feels threatened by the president's shift in policy?
It is possible, but would they really bring in such a huge army just because of that?
Part of our job is finding out.
Exactly. Thanks, Snake. Peace.
So, are you a student at the University for Peace, Paz?
No, I am still in high school. But Professor Galvez lets me visit his office and study with him every now and then. International law, security, conflict resolution, human rights. We study all these subjects and then use them to build the foundations of peace.
Yeah, I get it. I just never heard the UN had a University for Peace before.
Oh, that. Well, to be precise, it is still being set up. They have started conducting research, but the UN has not passed the necessary resolution yet. Professor Galvez couldn't wait that long.
Oh, right.
Costa Rica abolished its army and has also hosted the Central American Court of Justice. It is the perfect place to build a university like ours. Don't you think?
That coffee you guys brought us is pretty damn good.
Isn't it? Costa Rican coffee is the best. The Central Basin has all the right conditions for growing coffee. It is high in elevation, with steady temperatures and well-drained volcanic soils.
The professor certainly seems attached to it.
The coffee we drank on the boat coming over was awful. It put him in such a terrible mood.
Well, how come I never hear about Costa Rican coffee then?
because it gets bought up by wholesalers and mixed with beans from other countries. It is really a shame. Such wonderful beans, and nobody knows they are from Costa Rica.
Huh. They should launch an ad campaign or something.
Right. I hope one day people will recognize Costa Rican coffee for what it is.
I'm with you there. Paz, you said Costa Rica has no army, right?
Correct. Article 12 of the Constitution declared that the Army as a permanent institution is abolished. It does permit us to organize armed forces for national defense based on inter-American treaties.
Only temporarily, then.
In effect, yes. But in the years since the Constitution took effect, Costa Rica has not once raised an army.
Paz, how does your country defend itself without an army? Especially in a rough neighborhood like Central America.
With the right kind of diplomacy. If we live up to our ideals and earn the respect of other countries, the international community will support us. The 2 times Nicaragua actually did invade, the conflict was resolved diplomatically under OAS auspices.
Doesn't that leave you depending on the U.S. after all?
American influence is unmatched, it is true. San Jose was critical of American policy at the time, but America supported us all the same. It was because we practiced peaceful diplomacy. That is what I like to think.
That's one way to approach it, sure. But there are countries out there who will use force no matter how bad it looks.
Maybe so. I know my way of thinking probably looks naive to you, but it is not like we expect peace without working for it. Diplomacy is a battle in itself, and we have to make the effort to seek out causes of misfortune and nip them in the bud. It was that kind of thinking that got me trapped in their base.
I'm not blaming you. You haven't done anything wrong.
The army was abolished 25 years ago, the year after the Civil War. I learned about the sorrow of civil war from a very young age, the futility of countrymen fighting each other, and the tragedy. Costa Rica learned the hard way. That is why it abolished its army. It decided to pour its efforts into education instead. More teachers than soldiers was the slogan.
Education is essential, no question. Even Che used to teach reading and writing in between guerrilla campaigns.
Costa Rica was poor at the time. We did not have many resources. I suppose we had to pick one or the other. The military or the schools.
Kaz was telling me Japan has a peace constitution, too.
That is right. Apparently, when Costa Rica was drafting its constitution, they looked to the Japanese as a model. Only, Japan's constitution renounces war itself.
Unlike Costa Rica.
But Japan has a self-defense force, right? That I do not get. I think I will ask Mr. Miller about it next time I see him. He said he used to be in the JSDF.
Huh. You're a curious one, are you? Don't study too hard. What was that you were saying? Peace is not the natural state of men? You said you learned it in school.
That is right. They are the words of the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. In 1795, he wrote a book titled Perpetual Peace. Kant argued that it is precisely because peace is unnatural that we have to make it ourselves.
How?
That is what his book is about. Is the concept starting to sound interesting now?
Not really. I belong in a more natural world.
Is that so? My grandparents died in the Civil War. If only we had been at peace, they would not have lost their lives. You actually wish for war?
It's not like I want to hurt innocent civilians, but if someone attacks you, what are you supposed to do? A country needs the strength to defend itself. Otherwise it faces invasion, oppression, political subjugation.
If they would simply stop using force to tangle with each other, countries would not need force to defend themselves.
And how would you guarantee that?
Sorry,
but you have to understand how the world works in order to protect the ones you love. That's not to say ideals aren't important too. They are.
You are right, Snake. Thanks. Peace. Costa Rica's forests are more diverse than you might expect. Not all of them are tropical rainforests. Costa Rica is close to the equator, it is true, but it is also very mountainous.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Go up 4,000 feet in elevation and the temperature drops more than 7 degrees.
There are basically 3 types of forests. The lowlands are covered in tropical rainforests, the highlands by tropical cloud forests, and areas where there is a dry season have tropical dry forests. The lowlands along the Caribbean coast are mostly covered by hot, humid tropical rainforests, what most people envision when they think of jungle. The closely packed trees spread their branches out at great heights to soak up the sun. Their shade makes it dark near the ground, so be careful. Of course, with so little light, few plants can grow on the ground, so it might actually be easier to walk.
So even if you could photosynthesize, it wouldn't do you any good.
Photosynthesize? People cannot do that.
Most people, anyway.
Costa Rica is said to have about 87,000 species of living things. That is about 5% of all the known species in the world.
A tiny place like this? Huh. I'll be damned.
I want to protect that biological diversity. When diversity is lost, the environment weakens. Just look at the plantations.
I think I know what you mean. It's like trying to assemble a unit from similar guys. It usually doesn't work out. Throw a few square pegs in there and everything falls into place.
There are so many species here that a lot of them have not even been classified yet. I am hoping I can help do that someday. Kind of like a parataxonomist.
Say that again?
Parataxonomist. Someone who helps a taxonomist.
Oh. Huh. I thought you were going to say it had something to do with parachutes.
You're weird. The Development Corporation of Costa Rica, or CODESA, was established 2 years ago. Since President Oduber was elected this year, the state has been putting a lot more effort into development.
The corporate state, so to speak.
Growth is good and all, but there is one thing that bugs me.
What's that?
I cannot help but wonder whether CODESA is not just a front for the CIA.
You mean what the professor was saying about the CIA mercenaries posing as security guards? They were using CODESA as camouflage?
I am worried that development is going to destroy the forests, but I do not suppose it has anything to do with this. My mother was the one who named me Paz. She said it was an expression of her wish that the country stay at peace. It is a pretty common name in Central America. My mother always used to tell me, never make war. Always help keep the peace.
I remember. Your grandparents.
Yes, they died in the Civil War. I think that is why my mother hated war so much.
That's another thing you've got in common with Kaz. His mother named him Peace, too.
See, because Japan also suffered through war. I think I know how Mr. Miller's mother felt.
You like the peace sign, huh?
See, as a gesture, it connects every peace-loving person. Here, you try it, Snake. Peace.
No thanks. It doesn't suit me.
Too bad for you.
You know, the V in the peace sign comes from the V in victory. When did it start standing for peace?
I am not completely sure, but I guess it came out of the protest movement against the Vietnam War. Oh, and do not turn your hand around when you do it, especially around British people. It is insulting.
So, you live alone now?
No, not alone. I've been living in school dormitories since I started junior high. After my mother died, my relatives took me in, but they were not my real family.
You didn't fit in there.
In a way. My aunts were kind to me and all. But I know how difficult it must have been to suddenly have a child thrust into their lives. When you live with someone, there are no secrets. I could tell my being there was a burden on them.
Sounds like a rough childhood.
I would not say that. I was lucky just to have people take me in. There are huérfanos living out in the streets because their mothers died. It is even worse in countries with frequent civil wars. So, Who am I to complain about my childhood?
You're a pretty tough kid, you know?
Not at all. I am not strong at all. Playa del Alba means Beach of Dawn. The morning sun is so beautiful over the Caribbean.
Beach of Dawn, huh? Perfect place to start a mission.
The clear blue water, the white sand, the swaying palm trees. You cannot get more South American than here. It is paradise on earth.
Yeah, guess I should have packed my Hawaiian shirt.
The coral reefs and mangrove forests protect the small fish in the area. Sea turtles come to lay their eggs on these beaches. We are not the only ones who enjoy this place. It is heaven for more than just humans. Bosque del Alba means Forest of Dawn. Naturally, it is situated on the east coast. It is your standard tropical rainforest. Everything you would imagine in a jungle.
No sign of morning sun here.
The foliage is too thick for direct sunlight to hit the floor. I do not know how easy it will be making your way through here.
I'll be fine. This isn't my first trip to a jungle.
The mercenary supply base is situated on elevated ground by the coast. I heard them call it Puerto del Alba, Port of Dawn. They have perfect visibility of the area from up there. We did our best to sneak in undetected, but one of the guards spotted us and we...
What is it?
I'm sorry. You'll have to ask Professor Galvez the rest.
It's okay. You've been through a lot.
I am sorry. I just cannot.
You did great, Paz. I won't let your efforts go wasted.
This is a tropical rainforest, just like Bosque del Alba. The temperature and humidity can be brutal. El Senegal means place of mud.
No, mud. Great. I'll watch my step.
This area often gets flooded by the river. There are canals here and there carved out by water.
Good places to hide.
But they will also make it harder for you to see. Be careful, Snake. Areas with a distinct dry season, like the Pacific coast, have tropical dry forests. During the dry season, the trees drop their leaves. It gives you a clearer view, but at the same time, there are fewer places to hide. So be careful.
Sounds dull.
It is not really. A lot of trees flower during the dry season, including my favorite, the tabebuya. It has these amazingly vivid yellow flowers. Costa Rica has several active volcanoes, Irasu being one of them.
That's where Camino de Lava comes from, huh?
The tropical dry forests around here are quite different from our rainforests. They lose their leaves in the dry season. Tropical forests are not all thick jungles. A few of them even have cacti. Some of Costa Rica's greatest assets are its diverse forests and natural landscapes. Costa Rica got its first real railroads up and running about 100 years ago. Their primary purpose was to move coffee harvested in the Central Basin to the Caribbean coast.
They built railroads here 100 years ago? That's impressive.
It was even more difficult than you would imagine. Later, they started using the railroads for shipping bananas too. There still might be some branch lines around here. Aldea de los Despiertos means Village of the Awake.
Weird name.
The area is littered with coffee fields, and there is a factory nearby. The villagers are fans of coffee, so...
They don't get much sleep, huh? They've got a sense of humor, all right.
I cannot believe they would take over a place like this and use it as a prison. It is unforgivable for both the CIA and the thugs they employ. All the villagers wanted was to live in peace. What gives the CIA the right to crush them like that?
They don't care about anyone's rights but their own. It's just the way some people are.
You really think so?
Don't worry. It just gives me the right to teach them a lesson. Amanda, how do I get to the prison camp?
First, head up the narrow mountain path. The path will gradually open up and you'll come to a fork in the road. Watch yourself up there. You'll be lower than the surrounding terrain, so if you head down the middle, you'll make for an easy target.
Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
Take the leftward path to reach the prison camp.
What can you tell me about the prison camp?
Well, it used to be a village until they took control of it. It's a maze of paths, so watch out for soldiers on patrol.
I'll be sure not to stop and say hi.
Use the paths carefully, and you should be able to stay out of view.
Where are they holding Chico?
One of the houses, most likely. You can peek through the doors. Just press the action button when the icon appears. You could also listen to any sounds inside for clues.
Good idea.
Guards will still be on the move while you're looking inside. Make sure you don't get caught. And Snake.
I know. I'll bring him back.
Thank you. I know I can count on you.
Chico's in a prison camp north of here. Not enough room, huh? We'll keep it here at the base. Fulton recovery helicopter is complete. The basin ahead leaves you completely exposed to sniper fire. I have a bad feeling about this.
Somebody there?
That's too tall to climb.
here.
If only you had some equipment. Sniper! Better be careful if you don't want your head blown off. Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter. Chico's in one of these houses. You've got to find him, Snake. Supposedly, the houses being used to hold prisoners have been fitted with blue doors. Fulton recovery helicopter is complete. Check inside a house by pressing the action button in front of the door. They've got Chico locked up in one of the houses here. Find him.
Chico, is that you?
Who's there?
Chico, it's me.
You're that photographer,
That's right. A war photographer.
huh? I thought you were here for the birds.
Yeah, the birds of the battlefield.
Whoa, is that chess? Can I see it? Wow, the same kind of chair used.
You can't keep it, kid. Here, have these instead.
Those photos. Huh. Oh no, Amanda!
She's safe. Don't worry.
You sure?
We're patching her up back at my place.
She's hurt?
I said, don't worry. It's just a broken leg.
You got any cigarettes? A cigar, huh? Hey!
It's not for kids. Chico, do you know where they took the cargo?
Cargo? What cargo?
Let me rephrase that. How do they get stuff from the coast up here?
Oh, that I can tell you. When the cargo gets to the harbor, they first send it up the marshes on a barge. Then, they load it onto a jungle train past the banana plantation and transport it by rail. The train stops here. When it gets to the train terminal past the coffee plantation, they reload it again, this time onto a truck, which disappears into a tunnel heading toward the mountains.
Disappears? Chico, what's on the other side of that tunnel?
Nobody knows. None of our compas ever got close enough. He's protected by a spirit.
A spirit?
Yeah, a giant monster. El Basilisco.
The king of snakes?
No, really, I saw it. I was camping up there one day, and just as I was waking up around dawn, I heard this loud noise. I opened my eyes and saw an enormous shadow. Must have been 30 bara at least. He was walking, on legs as big as trees.
Where did you see it?
At the terminal near the tunnel, but I only saw it that one time.
What exactly were you doing there?
Well, me and my sister got into a fight.
And you just happened to go camping.
You know, their train should be arriving at the place I saw El Basilisco right about now.
Is it far?
No, really. Go past the coffee plantation, and it'll be to the north. What are you chasing?
Something that could keep the world in balance. Or destroy it.
Huh?
I heard that place was a narcotics plant before those guys took it over. But you already knew that, didn't you? Look, I get it. Even revolutionaries need to pay the bills. Still, must be tough for a kid like you to swallow.
You're damn right it is. The route they use to transport stuff is the same one mi viejo used to smuggle drugs. He sold the drugs to the Norte Americanos and used the profits to fund the army. They tried to keep it hidden from me.
Is that why you went camping?
Yes. I managed to sneak into the plant a few times and I tried to set it on fire. Everyone treats me like a child. I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm not a kid, I'm 12.
Couldn't do it though, could you? Chico, growing up means choosing how you're gonna live your life. To do the right thing, you sometimes have to leave the things you care about behind. Parents, family, your homeland.
But mi viejo. Papa,
Chico, look at the photos.
mi viejo.
He's gone, but there's one thing you don't ever leave behind. Your memories. Keep them safe. You want to get out of here, Chico?
I do, but
Come back with me. Your sister's waiting for you.
I can't go back. I can't face everybody.
You told them where your compas are. I see. Nothing to be ashamed of. Pain gets the better of us all.
I wish I was dead.
Okay then. I'll put you out of your misery.
What?
Any last words? Shoot. You are only going to kill a man. I just wasted a bullet. Don't waste your life. Listen to me, Chico. You died here today. You understand? You're hombre nuevo. A new man. Now, give that new life to me.
Huh?
Fight with me, little soldier. Show me how strong you really are. Dry your tears, then promise me one thing. No smoking until you get older. Remember, real heroes are never as polished as the legends that surround them.
You got it, boss.
Snake is fine.
What's that? Ah!
Snake, Chico made it over.
Snake!
Chico, you made it.
Made it. Don't give me that. You say you're gonna give me a new life, and then you nearly kill me.
I take it you didn't enjoy the trip.
What's the big idea? Dragging me off in a balloon. I might as well have taken a Colibri.
At least you got a nice view. Or are you afraid of heights?
Whatever. I just wish you would explain it to me first.
Would you have agreed to go if I did?
Thank you for saving us, Snake.
Amanda, a word of advice.
What?
Stop treating him like a child.
Yes. Yes, I know. You're right. I shouldn't.
Amanda, you're coming back after your leg heals, right?
Of course. We still have work to do.
We, huh? Are you sure you've got Chico's future in mind when you say that?
What do you mean? We're sworn to our father's cause, to helping the revolution succeed.
Revolution or no revolution, you pick up a gun and sooner or later you're going to hell. Are you prepared for that?
I am. If the alternative is giving up the country I love, I'll take hell.
Really? Well then, you're gonna have to stop treating Chico like a brother and start treating him like a soldier.
You're right.
Welcome to hell.
Snake, can I ask you a favor?
Shoot.
You find any prisoners from El Frente, you bring them back alive. Cause...
You're trying to make amends for talking.
Not just that. Because they're compas.
All right. But first, I've got to catch up to that cargo.
I'll do whatever I can to help. Call me if there's anything you need to know about the area.
And what?
Let me know if you encounter any wildlife you've never seen before.
Never seen before? What, like that basilisco you were talking about?
I'm talking about UMAs.
UMAs?
You know, like ancient dinosaurs or legendary monsters. One day, I'm going to be a hunter.
Is that right? Okay, sure.
If you want to know more, I'm happy to tell you.
Right. I'll be in touch, Chico.
Okay, Snake. The enemy's cargo is headed for the next outpost, a rail terminal.
Chico says no one's ever set foot past there.
Their main base is probably on the other side of that tunnel. Unless we catch those spears before reaching it, they'll be in enemy hands. You've got to stop them. Hurry, Snake. Boss, I had an idea. Listen to this.
Let me guess. You want to start running ads in the local gossip rags.
Please, what do you take me for? I thought that with all the new guys we've got, we should get an intel team going. We'd send agents around the country to scout out different locations. That way we're better prepared, no matter where we end up.
That's actually not a bad idea.
They could probably develop recon equipment for us too. We could also have them transport goods and direct the mother base support strikes. You can send an item to a co-op teammate from the delivery menu.